Hello, so this is part 3 of chapter 1 notes. So I was excited when I saw this is a brand new textbook. So I was very excited when I saw this section because I think this is very, very important for everybody. And this is a very important um, part of the book to help you beyond 6th grade, beyond this year. So for lesson 3, researching history, and researching facts, this could be used for science, this can be used for social studies, this can be used for any kind of research project that you're going to be doing in your future. All right, so choosing a topic, that's the first fill in the blank here, is the first step in researching history. So choosing a topic, meaning your thesis, is another thing. A topic is super very important. Picking your focus. Your topic is your focus of what you're going to be researching on. So we will hopefully do some kind of research project this year. We usually work very closely with Mrs. Martinson. And a topic is something, and whenever you do pick a topic, you want to make sure that it's something that you're interested in. Not what your friends are interested in, but what you're interested in, and not what you think your teacher wants. You want to pick something that you are passionate about and something that you want to find more about, because if that will make it easier for you to do if you are actually interested in your topic. This goes for any project that you want to do in the future. If you have a choice of what to do, I always highly suggest picking a topic that you're interested in, and you will always do a better job if you are interested and are passionate and look forward to learning about your topic. General reference books, encyclopedias, textbooks, and library books are usually very reliable materials. You always want to make sure to check when something is published. If you have a book from 1972, it is not going to have the accurate information that you need. You always want to check the front of the book to see when your book was copyrighted, to make sure that it is not too old and out of date. So certain things like, Pluto is no longer a planet, or just even looking at updated maps, like we have South Sudan, that was from 2014. And so it's very important to also make sure that what you're using is for resources are somewhat up to date. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you're doing like an autobiography or a biography of someone that's already passed away, but you always want to be aware of when something was published. A statement of fact expresses only what can be proven by evidence. So statements are very important. I feel like this is being lost in our society today. So you always want to make sure you have facts that back up your statements. So when you're doing a research project, your opinion doesn't really matter. Your facts do. And your facts always want to come from reliable sources. Okay, so you always want to have facts from primary sources, and you want to be careful not to be using opinions. Opinions are what someone could say, that's what I feel like, that's what I think of, and that's it. No, you need to say, nope, this happened in, this happened in 1995, on day this, and this event happened in 1997. You need to make sure you have actual facts to back up your topic. Now, you always want to make sure you're using reliable internet articles. And this is very important for all of your research, especially for your questions of the month. So you always want to make sure that you are using sites that send in edu, .gov, and .org. Sometimes .com is okay, but when you're doing, when you get older, especially up into high school, you want to make sure that you're using edus and .govs and .orgs, because they're not funded by commercial companies. There's not someone trying to sell you something. There's no underlying motivation. It's all research that is made for education. It's for you. It's for students. It's not to sell you anything. So it's super important that you make sure when you are looking at the internet, if you have a feeling that this is weird, has advertisement all over it, it's probably not the most reliable website or internet articles. So always look for edu, .gov, or .org. And again, there's like National Geographic and things like that that have been tried and true around for years that are also reliable. Now, plagiarizing. You're going to hear this time and time again. You should not be copying directly from any source. If you do, you need to say on page such and such, or from this article, from this website. You always need to give credit to where credit is due. So if you're copying somebody's ideas, it is wrong and it should be strictly avoided. You can get in big trouble as you get older for plagiarizing. So you always want to make sure you put the source where you found the information to avoid getting trouble trouble for plagiarizing. And if you're not sure if it's plagiarizing, then you should always check with your teachers or your professors or anything like that, because this is a big problem in colleges, to make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. You always need to give people credit for their work, and copying it and putting it as your work is a big, big no-no, and it's considered also cheating. So super, be very careful of plagiarizing. Never copy somebody else's words without giving them credit. And historians, you should always look for a good historian will always be using evidence. Okay, so historians avoid evaluating historical events using modern ideas. Your evaluation of history should be based on the evidence, not on today's society understanding of rights of society. So this is a very hot topic. Our society has evolved a lot in the past 100 years. So if we look at our founding fathers, this comes up quite a bit when we're looking at the Constitution and things like that. The pursuit of happiness. When they wrote the pursuit of happiness, they did not necessarily mean the pursuit for every single person in the United States. A lot of people interpret that as something that they wanted the evidence for a certain population, white males that were in power at that time. Now, as history has moved forward, we look at the evidence. They had all of the great of intention of making the country the great country we have today. But if we look at it through our lens, we could say that there's a lot of faults with some of their wording. But the Constitution is a living and breathing document. That's why we have so many lawyers and experts on it today. But it's important that when we'll get more into this, when we start talking about the Columbian Exchange and things like that. So when you look at the history in the past, sometimes it's very easy to look at these people like they were horrible, awful people. But you have to remember, in their time, they thought they were doing the right thing. And we'll talk more about that. So it's hard as a sixth grader, but it's something that you're going to probably have to be working on through the rest of your educational career to work through this. So make sure you have this all filled out. Again, feel free to use this and go back and reread lesson 3. And this should help you with your test that will be coming up shortly. All right, thank you.